Today we're going to make some Valentine pot holders. So come along with me and we'll make them together. So to begin with, what we need is about 1/4 of a yard of fabric that we're going to use. If you have a fat quarter, you can use that, or you can just cut 1/4 of a yard. And I'm going to give the link in the description where you can go and print out the pattern. It's on another website that they have a free pattern. So I will put that in the description. So go there and print it out. And then you can go through and read the instructions first so that you know what you're doing. So I'm going to go ahead and just get started and you can follow along with me. So now I'm going to cut out from warmer natural batting one of the main body and 2 separate of the pockets so that it's not going to be folded in half. This one is going to be put on the fold. Okay, now I'm going to do the same with my Insul Brite. So you can see Insul Brite has like a little reflective material in it, and that's what helps you not get burned when you're using hot pads. It's also good if you're making like a pot holder to put on your table. You can make it so that your table doesn't get burned. Once you have your 2 large pieces and your 2 small pieces done, you're going to take your 2 small pieces over to the iron and you're going to iron a crease right in it. So I'm going to go iron that really quick and be right back. So you can see here that there's a really nice crease right here on the fold. Okay, so those are all ready. So then I decided I wanted the ladybug fabric to be my bias. So I went and I cut 2.5 inches along the length of the fabric. So it needs to be at least 36 inches. Okay, and now we're going to go and we're going to iron this. The way we're going to iron it is we're going to iron it in half first, and then we're going to iron it towards the half on both sides. And if you want to do this first and then fold it, this is how you're making your bias tape. Okay? So that's what I'm going to go do right now. Now we're going to layer our fabric facing down and then our batting. Center it right in the center, put it right in the center, and then put the shiny side up. And then we're going to face our fabric down. And we're going to go ahead and pin it. So this is when you get to use your machine to do some quilting. If you want to do straight lines, or if you want to put on your quilting foot and quilt around it, you can. So I thought it would be fun to maybe follow the zigzag on this line. So I'm going to just do a couple of them. I'm not going to do both sides, but I think I'm just going to follow a couple of them down my fabric. So if you want the heart pieces that are going to be on top to be quilted also, then you can go ahead and layer it, and then you can do any design on it also. So we're going to open up our fold and we're going to put in first our batting and then our Insul Brite so that it's facing up. So when we put it on, we actually want the bright side to be, the Insul Brite to be facing down because we want it to be on top of our hands, okay, to protect our hands. When we sew that on, we want to make sure the Insul Brite is facing down towards it. For the pockets of my hot pad, I decided to just do straight lines. And what I'm doing is I did a straight line right in the middle, and then I'm putting the edge of the foot on the line so I can get a straight line. And I made sure that my needle is as far as it could go to the left. And I'm starting at the crease so that it can push out any excess at the end, and then I will trim off whatever's extra when I'm done. And I keep starting at the top, at the fold line. Once your quilting is all done and you've trimmed all your ends, then you're going to go ahead and trim around all of the batting, get all the batting off that's sticking out. I'm folding it one way, then I'm folding it another so I can trim. If it's not too much, then you could just keep it. So I have just a little bit sticking out. I'm going to go ahead and keep that because I'm going to put on my binding now. So one piece that I did forget to cut, if you want one, is a little, it's about 4 inches by 2.5 inch strip that we're going to cut so that we can have a little loop so that if you want to hang it up, you can. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that right now and show you what to do with it. Okay, so I didn't actually have enough fabric left to make it 2 inch wide. So this is 1 inch wide. I folded it in just like we did for the bias tape. And I'm just going to sew straight down. Okay, so the directions, they say that you should take your binding and sew them onto the front first, and then to sew them onto the back. So we're gonna just follow the directions like they're saying. I'm gonna go ahead and start a little to the side, and I'm going to leave about 1 inch. I'm kind of just doing it kind of like I would do for quilting, but I'm going to start sewing a little bit before the pocket. I'm going to leave it open. I'm going to sew along the edge here and then fold it onto the back. So normally with quilting, you would sew onto the back first and then onto the front so that you would make the front look really nice. That's why I'm a little confused about this method. But I'm just going to follow the pattern for this one. I'm making several of them, and I just want to see how the pattern is actually going to do it. So we will find out, won't we? So I'm just going to go ahead. I'm just going to pin this first piece. And like I said, I'm going to begin right here before the pocket so that we can just make sure that the pocket is down. Okay, so I'm just going to begin sewing right on there. So because we're working with curves, we're just going to have to stop a little bit and curve it around. Got this extra piece right here, and we're going to fold this under, and we're going to stick this piece inside. Okay, looks like I didn't stop enough. Okay, so it looks like at the point, so I think I'm going to unstitch a little bit so that it can lay on top of it and then sew both of them together. Okay, so I have this folded in, the one underneath, and I'm taking the other one on top, and I'm going to sew until I'm overlapping till about that far, and then I will trim this one off. Now it says to go ahead and fold it over onto the other side. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and trim off my fabric. So we have our fold on our fabric, our binding. Okay, now it says to take your, this is the little hanger piece, and it says to stick it in underneath, pointing down. I'm going to go ahead and start at the bottom. I'm going to do a little crease on the point. Okay, so let's see how it turned out. Look at that. It turned out cute. It's always an adventure when we're trying out a new pattern for the first time. It's kind of fun the way this one turned out. I love the lines on the pockets and the little stitching that we did. You can see the quilting on the back and on the front. So it's a fun thing to practice your quilting on. And it's a great little gift that you can give for Valentine's Day. If you like what you saw here, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and share with your friends. So we'll see you next week on Creating Joy.